Hello, beautiful, and welcome back to another episode of Beautiful, I Am Colored. As always, I am so honored and grateful that you return each week to hear the thoughts and perspectives and insights that I've had throughout my week. I want to sincerely apologize because I am having to take a brief intermission from the Empty Nester series that I started on my podcast, mostly because I had to go and retrieve one of the young adults back here at the house this past weekend, actually within the past 48 hours. And so the Empty Nester season was exceptionally short-lived. But I also want to say that this is my very first week trying to get somewhat fancy and have videos attached to what I'm saying. So those of you who are more visual and like to see people talk, I am uploading now the videos on YouTube to serve as a component or an extension of the podcast Beautiful I'm Colored. So in the future, if you're interested in seeing me, you can find me on YouTube under the same handle on all platforms: Instagram, Google Podcast, Apple, and Spotify under Beautiful I Am Colored. I would be so happy if you would be interested or consider subscribing to those platforms. Okay. Also, you know that each week, well, for those of you on YouTube, you don't know, but if you've listened to my podcast for the past several months, you know that I like to start each podcast off with a moment of gratitude and thanks with a segment I like to call shout outs and thank yous. All right, so for this week, my shout outs and thank yous. Okay, so also, this is my first time on video. For those of you who don't know, I write my own stuff, right, for the scripts, my intro, my outro. But as far as my talking points and subjects, I usually use this. I'm sorry, on the podcast you can't see it. You'll have to go to YouTube and check. But I usually use like just my little post-it note, and I have my talking points because I am more of an extemporaneous speaker, meaning I like to talk off the cuff because I feel like that brings more of the authenticity that I would like translated through these various streams of media. With that being said, this week's shout outs and thank yous, I made a list. Oh my God, the first one, fall weather. Baby, when I tell you I'm so excited, this is my favorite time of year. As you can see, I'm wearing a sweatshirt today, and we were driving back from Houston. More on that in a little bit. We were driving back from Houston, and the weather in some parts were like 40-something degrees. And that's from Houston to Denver, about a 16-hour drive. And yes, I made it in the same day, no stops. Anyways, I'm so thankful for fall weather. The other thing that I'm thankful for is making it home safely. So a 16-hour drive and doing it in one stint. My daughter and I, we woke up at around, 2:30 a.m., I think, Central Time. Packed up the car. Well, she packed up the car and got on the road. And like I said, we had about maybe 5 stops total to gas up, 5 to 10 minute stops, eat a little snack, and back on the road. And so we made it back home safely. So I'm so thankful we made it home with no incident. Okay. The other thing I'm thankful for is, although you probably can hear that I'm a bit congested, I got up this morning. Today is Sunday. I got up this morning and I did not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 miles today. Do you hear me? With a cold. Listen, no excuses. I'll talk more about that in the future. And maybe at some point I'll do something. I don't know. But yeah. And then the final thing that I am thankful for this week is I'm almost made it a week of sobriety. So I have been doing some research because working out has like never been an issue for me in terms of, weight loss or health and fitness. That like I love working out, but like you work out like a dog 5-6 days a week, lifting and the like, and jogging and running, doing all these miles, but you don't be seeing no results. So I started doing some research. So come to find out, for my body type, which I'm an endomorph, and you can Google that to learn more about body types and stuff. But I'm an endomorph, and for that particular body type, you can build muscle pretty quickly, but you lose fat at a slower rate. And one of the main enemies to you burning fat is alcohol consumption as well as caffeine consumption. Now, I ain't trying to give up my coffee for no one at this point. That's like a ritual. Every morning I get up, have my hot cup of coffee, so I'm not doing that. But I did say, you know what? I can lay off this alcohol. Not only that, there are a lot of non-alcoholic alternatives. And so far, Tuesday actually will have completed, we'll start the new week. And so I'm so thankful that I have reached it. Like, so far, so good. I'm going for a whole month to see what kind of weight gains I have. That's like my overarching objective. But long term, I definitely think that I can do without it. So I'm thankful that I'm coming up on a week of sobriety. It's working for me. As well as, if you listen to my podcast, you know that Marlon and I started a pescatarian diet almost 2 months ago now. And so that's been going really well too. I think I've only had land animals. That means like, ground turkey or whatever. Maybe one or two, maybe 3 meals at the max. And, every time I tried it, it was like, nah, I ain't even missing this. So anyway, I'm thankful for all those things. And yeah, now let's get right into today's topic, because I don't like to belabor my time and stuff. So let me get right into today's topic. Hold on a second. Let me pause this podcast and then I'm going to come right back. Okay, so for today's topic, as I've told you, the topic for today is few things are free. Here's why I want to talk about it, because I've noticed this in my own young adult life. So for those of you who don't know, or are new to my podcast or new to this YouTube channel, I have 4 young adults, ranging in age from the oldest being 27 to the youngest will be 21 in a few weeks. And one of the things that we try to instill in them, as well as try to model for them, is that nothing comes with hard work. And I'm the queen of saying nothing is free, including if you're a Christian, you'll understand this, or have a Christian background, you'll understand this. Nothing is free, including salvation, right? Because Jesus had to die on the cross, give his life so that you can have life, is the belief system, right? And so my point is, nothing in this life is free. So where did we as a society and people get to the point where we have a whole generation, a couple now of generations, where folk don't want to do hard work? And I do blame social media, although it is used for the good and I am using it clearly to my advantage. I also do think that there are some critical pieces of social media that have, how can I say this, have contributed to this mindset, this creation of a mindset that things come quick and that there's an expectation of things to be free. Like that's what you're supposed to be doing for somebody. And I'm just here to correct that narrative and say that, and this is saying this in love, and I know some of you may disagree with me, but the truth of the matter is that barely nothing is free. Listen, even if you're on a YouTube and stuff like that, if you don't have the money to outsource and pay people to edit for you, if you're in this line of work, this content creation world, that this stuff, not only is it not free because you pay for the this and you pay for the that, even if it's your smartphone or even if it's an app or it's a whatever, the video editing and stuff, it's not free and it's a lot of work. It is time consuming. So where did we come with this attitude and this mindset that stuff is just supposed to just fall up in your lap? I just want to say that is a myth according to the life that I've lived so far, 44 years on planet Earth. And I have found that very little things come from just wishing and a hoping and a praying. Now, to point back to the Bible, it say, if you don't work, you don't eat. Like that literally is in the Bible. So I am just at a loss for words at the mindset or the mentality that things should be just given to you. Now, sometimes you'll get a little nugget. For example, my book titled Beautiful I'm Colored, which you can get on beautifulimcolored.com, is buy one, get one free. But in order to get the free, you got to buy one. You feel what I'm saying? You see how you like that plug, right? The bottom line is this. There is nothing that's free. And then the other thing that I want to share with you is this. When you think about things that you've worked for, you tend to take care of things. You tend to protect them. You tend to be a better steward. Why is this doing that? Okay. You tend to be a better steward over the things that you have. And so I'm not sure why this camera is doing. There we go. So you tend to be a better steward over the things that you have. And so my point is this. I would really encourage, because I'm not going to ever tell you what to do, because what works for some might not work for others. But I want to encourage you to do the work that it takes to get what you want out of life, what you're expecting out of life. And that sometimes is going to create a lot of angst, a lot of uncomfortability, a lot of frustration. Nonetheless, you must do it in order to get to the place that you are desiring, no matter what that place is. Like, for example, I like to use myself a lot as an example. You know, I've been looking for work since I graduated from law school. And I've had interviews, but no offers. And so that can create some frustration. But you know what? At the same time, it also creates an opportunity for me to reframe, think about things differently. Maybe I need to work at it or do it differently than, you know, what I initially thought, you know, or maybe I need to shift, and maybe I do need to just stay in this entrepreneurial lane and just grow that. The bottom line is this: it takes work. Everything takes work. If you want to lose weight, you got to tighten up your diet. If you want to go, you know, the quick route, you got to go through surgery or whatever, if you're one of those people. And I'm not shading or hating, because you never know. Sister might do that too. But the bottom line is that still is some work involved. Even after you get a procedure done, you got to come, and you, from what my understanding is anyway, you still got to exercise. You still got to keep up with the investment that you made. Nothing in life comes without work. Most things in life, or few things in life, are free. I want to encourage you today to reframe and rethink your week. If you have been one of those people that's like, well, why can't I just have? Why come this ain't happening? Why this, why that? If you are one of those people, and sometimes I am guilty of doing that myself, if you are one of those people, I just want to encourage you to reframe and rethink your week. If you reframe and rethink, how can I work this at a different level? Or, you know what, I want this really bad, but I can save over the course of 3 months instead of going into debt of it and getting it today. Whatever the situation is, I just want to encourage you. Most people who have things, they've had to work really hard for it. You see the end product most times, including like my videos and stuff. And I'm sorry that this video is doing that. I'll get better with time, I assure you. But nothing comes without work. Take some time, and somebody that you know and you see that they're doing things, I guarantee you their story says, oh, I remember I had to struggle. I remember I had to do this. Oftentimes we put so many scruples and so many points on the outcome that we see, and we never really want to swallow the big pill of the hard work that is done to become successful. So I want to say this. You can do it. I believe in you. I want to end by saying, as always, I appreciate you stopping by, listening to me each week to share my insights and perspectives. I'm so honored that you join me, as I am every week. You can follow me on Instagram at Beautiful I Am Colored. On YouTube now, you want to see the video version. And I am just so thankful, so thankful. I anticipate getting a lot better at this whole video thing in the future, and I'm excited about that. Hopefully my daughter, if I can pay her a small stipend, will help me. But as always, and more than anything, I am praying that you found a sense of hope and healing, which is my goal each and every week. Thank you so much for your time. Remember, the future you is waiting on you. Until next time, beautiful, I've been your host, Evelyn. Have a great week, everyone. Hello, beautiful, and welcome back to another episode of Beautiful I Am